The Biden campaign is riding high this morning after those victories in the South. Now, in a completely different position than just 2 weeks ago, Eva Pilgrim is traveling with the campaign. She's there in Los Angeles. Good morning, Eva.
Good morning, Robin. Yeah, Joe Biden outperforming expectations on Super Tuesday, now turning his eyes to next week, states he thinks play to his strengths. He already has trips planned to Missouri and Mississippi. And for a candidate who was literally outspent in every single Super Tuesday state, that war chest is now filling back up. He was already seeing a fundraising boost off of that big win in South Carolina. And there was a moment last night that a lot of people are talking about this morning. Dr. Jill Biden protecting her husband by shoving off a dairy protester that was storming the stage. Her response, Robin? I'm a Philly girl.
And she did seem that way. All right, Eva, thank you very much. And meanwhile, this morning, the future of Michael Bloomberg's campaign is in question after last night's results. So let's go to Cecilia Vega, who's in West Palm Beach, Florida, with more on that. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hey, Robin, good morning to you. The Bloomberg team says they plan to reassess that campaign today and tomorrow going forward in the future in the wake of those results last night. I traveled with his campaign all day yesterday. I asked Michael Bloomberg about this pressure on him and his team and whether he planned to drop out. He told me he had no plans to drop out, that he planned to stay in this race to win it. But this morning, Robin, his team is sending a very different message. They say Bloomberg, if he is not the nominee, will support whoever that nominee is. And you know he's supported already his own campaign to the tune of more than $500 million. But Robin, right now his campaign chair is saying on Twitter the #1 priority for him is to defeat Donald Trump in November.
Okay, Cecilia. And Bernie Sanders saying that big success in California and in his home state, of course, of Vermont. Martha Raddatz is there in Burlington with more. Good morning, Martha.
Good morning, Robin. It was not exactly the ending Bernie Sanders wanted, but he is touting his success with Latino voters and, of course, California, tweeting late last night, "Thank you, California. You showed that Americans are ready for a government and economy that works for all of us, not just the 1%. Let's go forward together." Sanders' campaign is also saying in order to beat Donald Trump, you need a nominee that is able to harness energy and enthusiasm. He routinely does that on the campaign trail, but he has some very stiff competition in that regard this morning. George?
Okay, Martha, thanks very much. Let's bring in our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd. Also, Yvette Simpson, the CEO of Democracy for America. Your organization has endorsed Bernie Sanders. Matthew, let me begin with you. We've never seen a 4-day swing like we've just seen with Joe Biden coming off South Carolina, those sweeping victories in Super Tuesday last night. The scale of this victory, hard to gauge.
Yeah, and we always talk about Bill Clinton's comeback, the comeback kid in 1992 when he finished second. This is so far exceeds that. I was trying to think, I've never seen a political comeback like this in my life, ever. I was trying to think what it's akin to. It's a bit like the Boston Red Sox being down 3-0 because Biden lost the first 3 races, being down 1 run in the 9th inning and coming back and beating the New York Yankees. We've never seen. He is not the comeback kid. He's Lazarus.
It's an incredible comeback, Yvette, and now it basically is a 2-person race. Elizabeth Warren and Michael Bloomberg, as we come on the air right now, still in the race, but this is Biden and Sanders.
Yeah, tough night for Elizabeth Warren. She has never lost a race. Her supporters are probably going to need a day to absorb this, but look, she's about big structural change, and so hopefully her supporters, mostly progressive, will come on board with the Bernie Sanders campaign and give them the momentum they need. We did see a consolidation of support among the mainstream, and if we had had that support last night, we would have saw a lot more wins in places like Minnesota and Maine and Massachusetts where we needed it.
Michael Bloomberg always promised to use his fortune not only to get into this primary, but also to help defeat President Trump in November. Going to be interesting to see what he announces coming out of this and whether he's going to continue to spend money.
Yeah, the Beatles sang the song "Money Can't Buy Me Love," and political advertising can't buy you delegates in this. And I think that's one of the. I mean, it's going to be fascinating to see what he does and if he gets out, and then what he does in the process. But I think last night and this past day, 2 myths have been busted. The first myth is political advertising somehow can overcome everything else. We learned that's not possible because Joe Biden spent less than anybody else. The second myth we learned, which we keep relearning, is New Hampshire and Iowa do not tell us what's going to happen in these political races.
Well, that's the thing of it. Once the races brought it out to look more like the whole of the country, Joe Biden did better.
He did, particularly in South Carolina, where he's benefiting from older African-American voters who tend to be more conservative. But in Nevada and places like California, where you have younger black voters, Bernie Sanders is winning there. So it'll be interesting to see how that spreads across the rest of the country.
And we certainly did see Bernie Sanders last night signal that this is going to be a hard-edged finish in the primary.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it'll be really interesting. Bernie Sanders benefits from being in the underdog space. So I think he's going to fight coming out. I think once we get back into the debates and he can attack Biden one-on-one, you'll see a Bernie like you've never seen before. We're going to see a lot of twists and turns in this race, I think.
And we also have to keep in mind that Joe Biden had a great night, great series of states, but he's been known to have unforced errors and in this process. So we have to wait and see what's going to happen over the next week.
Some big states next week. Thank you both very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.